The perfect moment never comes. You asterisk, create asterisk it. If you're tired of feeling stuck, if your soul is hungry for purpose, if something inside of you is whispering, there's more to life than this message is for you. You were not born to live in cycles of regret. You were created to rise, to rebuild, to reinvent, to relaunch your life with power and clarity. Today I'm going to give you the tools, the mindset, and the asterisk truth. Asterisk you need to break free from your past and boldly step into the future that's been waiting for you. This is not just motivation, this is transformation. Stay with me until the very end because every second of this video holds a key that can unlock the next chapter of your destiny. This is how you start over. This is how you start strong. This is how you start a asterisk new life. Let's begin. When you stand at the edge of a new beginning, the most critical question you must answer isn't, what do I do next? But rather, why does this new life matter to me? Purpose is the oxygen of transformation. Without it, you will run out of breath the moment life gets hard. Starting a new life isn't just about changing your surroundings, switching careers, or walking away from people who held you back. It's about stepping into a reason so meaningful, so deeply connected to your values, that you become willing to endure discomfort, face fear, and rise above excuses. Purpose gives pain a reason to exist. Without it, every trial feels like punishment. With it, trials become preparation. Most people start with the what job should I take? What city should I move to? What goals should I set? But they rarely stop long enough to ask why. Why do I feel called to this new life? Why am I no longer satisfied with where I am? Why must I grow? The answer to these questions becomes your compass when the journey gets confusing. If you don't start with your why, every challenge will feel like a reason to give up. But if your why is clear and rooted in something bigger than yourself, like faith, service, freedom, peace, or growth, you will endure the discomfort and keep going. The world constantly pulls you in different directions. It tells you what success looks like, what happiness should feel like, what your goals ought to be. But if your new life is based on someone else's definition of success, you'll always feel empty, even if you achieve it. Your why must come from the inside, not the outside. It must reflect who you truly are, not who the world wants you to be. When you live in alignment with your purpose, there is a power that rises inside you. You become resilient. You stop chasing quick wins and start committing to lasting change. People will question you. Your old life will try to seduce you. Comfort will whisper lies like, it wasn't so bad, or you're overthinking it. But when your why is strong, you will not be moved by convenience or doubt. You will be led by conviction. Purpose keeps you focused in the storm. It silences the noise and brings you back to center. It reminds you that you are not walking away from your past out of fear, but walking toward your future in faith. Your why doesn't have to impress anyone. It doesn't have to sound poetic or powerful to others. It just has to be real to you. Maybe your why is to be a better parent, to live a life of integrity, to escape a cycle of pain, or to finally honor the dreams buried in your soul. Whatever it is, honor it, protect it, build your new life around it. The strength of your future is only as solid as the clarity of your why. Without it, you will crumble when the journey stretches longer than you thought. But with it, you will walk boldly even when the path is uncertain because you know what you're walking toward and, more importantly, why it matters. Starting a new life requires more than just motivation. It requires absolute honesty, brutal, raw, unfiltered self-reflection. Not the kind you post online, not the version of you that pleases the world, but the truth that whispers to you in silence when there's no one around to perform for. If you want to truly begin again, you must first understand where you are and how you got here. You cannot heal what you refuse to face, and you cannot grow from a place you won't even admit you're standing in. Reflection isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. It's the courage to pause and ask the hard questions. What patterns have I repeated? What fears have ruled me? What excuses have I used as crutches? What relationships have I allowed to define me? Too many people try to run into the future with the past still strapped to their backs. But new beginnings demand that you first unpack the baggage. You need to sit with your story and see it for what it truly is. Not what you wished it was, not what you tried to pretend it was, but what it really became. Because only then can you break free from the cycles that quietly sabotage progress. Reflection doesn't weaken you, it empowers you. It puts you back in the driver's seat. It gives you control, not over the past, but over what you choose to do with it now. Every decision you've made, every time you stayed too long, every time you held back your voice, it has shaped you, yes, but it doesn't have to define you. The moment you see it clearly, you reclaim the authority to change it. Reflection also helps you identify your blind spots. Most people think their problem is lack of discipline or lack of opportunity, but more often it's lack of awareness. You can't change what you don't know you're doing wrong. You can't rise if you don't know what's been keeping you down. And you won't escape your past if you keep calling it your personality. Your attitude, your habits, your comfort zones, they were all formed by experiences, but they can be reformed by choice. Reflection gives you that choice. It's not enough to simply want a better life. You have to become the kind of person that a better life requires. And that becoming starts with looking in the mirror and refusing to lie to yourself one more day. You're not too broken. You're not too late, but you are responsible. And reflection is where that responsibility starts. It's not about beating yourself up, it's about waking yourself up. If you can't be honest with yourself, you'll always build your new life on a false foundation, and it will eventually collapse. But when you reflect with truth and humility, you create a solid ground to stand on, a place where real growth, real change, and real freedom can finally begin. Letting go of the past is not an event. It's a process of unshackling your identity from experiences that no longer serve who you are becoming. Most people remain stuck because they try to build a new life on top of the ruins of the old one. They carry yesterday's failures, disappointments, betrayals, and regrets like baggage into their future. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But you cannot walk into your next season carrying the weight of your last one. The moment you decide to start a new life, you must also decide what you will no longer carry forward. Your mind, your habits, your beliefs. If they are rooted in past pain, they cannot support future growth. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means choosing not to be ruled by it. It means no longer allowing your past to dictate your worth, your direction, or your potential. Some people wear their past like armor, thinking it protects them from future hurt, but in reality, it only weighs them down and keeps them from soaring. When you let go, you strip away that armor. You become vulnerable again, but also open, also free. You allow yourself to be more than what you've survived. You give yourself permission to evolve. This is where real transformation begins. It's not in avoiding your past, but in confronting it and deciding that it does not define you. The pain may have shaped you, but it is not your identity. You are not your mistakes. You are not the betrayal. You are not the version of yourself who settled, who tolerated, who didn't know better. You are who you choose to be now. And that choice starts the moment you release everything that tells you otherwise. But releasing the past often means grieving it. It means letting go of the version of life you thought you would have. The relationships that didn't last. The dreams that didn't unfold the way you expected. And yes, even the parts of yourself that you've outgrown. This isn't weakness, it's sacred. It's a form of inner renewal. Letting go is an act of bravery. It's looking at what once was and saying thank you for the lesson, but I no longer need you to lead me. It takes spiritual courage to detach from what's familiar and step into what's possible. And here's the most powerful truth. When you release what's not meant for you, you make room for what is. You clear space for clarity, for purpose, for joy, for divine alignment. Holding on keeps your hands full of what you no longer need. But letting go allows God to fill your life with what you were always meant to carry. Forgiveness becomes easier. Hope becomes real. Vision becomes clearer. Because now you're not weighed down by old wounds. You're lifted by new possibilities. Many people try to change their life without changing their internal narrative. But real change starts with a new story. And you can't write that new story while clinging to the last chapter. Letting go of the past is an act of faith. It's believing that your future holds more than your past ever did. It's trusting that what's ahead is not only different, but better, wiser, fuller. That trust frees you. It strengthens you. It repositions you. And in that freedom, in that release, you find the space to truly begin again, not as a victim of your past, but as a visionary of your future. Creating a compelling vision for your future is not a luxury, it is a necessity for anyone serious about transformation. Without vision, people wander through life reacting instead of leading, surviving instead of thriving. A vision gives your life direction. It becomes the compass you follow through confusion, setbacks, and distractions. It is not about having all the answers. It's about having a reason that pulls you forward when motivation fails. Most people don't lack ability, they lack clarity. When you don't know where you're going, every road looks tempting, every voice seems persuasive, and every delay feels like defeat. But when your vision is strong, distractions lose their power, and detours don't destroy your momentum. Your eyes are fixed on something greater, something higher, something worth enduring the present, for a compelling vision doesn't just come to you, it must be built. It's birthed through quiet time, honest reflection, and asking yourself difficult questions. Who do I want to become? What kind of impact do I want to make? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These are not casual thoughts, they are foundations for a new life. The more detailed you can say no to temptation not because it isn't appealing, but because it's not aligned. You can endure isolation, hard work, and sacrifice, because you understand what you're building is worth more than what you're temporarily giving up. That vision becomes a flame inside you, and when the world grows cold or indifferent, that fire keeps burning. A true vision will always challenge you. It will stretch you beyond comfort, beyond who you were, and push you into who you must become. It will demand growth, demand courage, demand change. But in that demand it gives birth to a new version of you. Someone bolder, someone wiser, someone more resilient. You cannot build a new life with the same thinking that built the old one. Vision upgrades your mindset before it upgrades your life. It lifts your eyes from where you are to where you're called to be. And that shift, mental, emotional, spiritual, is the beginning of transformation. If you want to start a new life, begin by seeing one. Not vaguely, not wishfully, but vividly, boldly, and with unshakable belief. Because once the picture becomes clear in your heart, your feet will find the path. And no matter what tries to stop you, the clarity of your vision will push you forward every single time. Letting go of the past is one of the most liberating and yet most difficult steps in starting a new life. The past has a way of attaching itself to us not just through memories but through wounds, regrets, guilt, and old identities that no longer serve who we are becoming. It whispers reminders of who we were, what we lost, and how we failed. But the truth is, you cannot move forward while looking backward. You cannot grab hold of a new life if your hands are still clinging to what broke you, what betrayed you, or what once defined you. The past may have shaped your story, but it does not own your future. There comes a moment where healing demands that you stop replaying what happened and start choosing what happens next. People often remain stuck not because they lack opportunity, but because they carry old narratives into new chapters. They sabotage new relationships because of trust broken in old ones. They reject new chances because they're haunted by old mistakes. They fear success because failure once embarrassed them. This is the invisible weight that keeps them bound, memories and meanings never released. But healing is not forgetting, it's remembering without reliving. It's acknowledging the pain, learning from it, and choosing not to stay in it. Freedom doesn't begin when life changes. It begins when you change your relationship with the past. Forgiveness plays a powerful role in this process. Not just forgiving others, but also forgiving yourself. Many people struggle to move forward because they're still angry at who they were. They carry shame for decisions made in survival, bitterness for time they think they wasted, or embarrassment for how long they stayed stuck. But grace is real, growth is real. You are allowed to outgrow the old you. You are allowed to heal even if others don't understand your process. You are not obligated to carry guilt forever. Release it. Because as long as you hold on to it, you will filter your future through a lens of condemnation instead of possibility. Letting go also means grieving what you expected but never received. Sometimes it's not just people you have to release, it's dreams that didn't happen, opportunities that slipped away, and timelines that didn't unfold the way you imagined. Grief is not weakness, it is the beginning of transformation. It creates space for new things to grow. You cannot make room for a new vision while your life is cluttered with dead things. Sometimes God has to strip away what you wanted so He can give you what you need. But He can't bless who you're pretending to be. He blesses the honest, the broken, the surrendered. When you let go of the past, you free your identity from false anchors. You stop identifying with your trauma, your former roles, your failures. You begin to see yourself not through the lens of pain, but through the lens of purpose. You stop carrying yesterday's burdens into today's calling. You show up lighter, wiser, stronger. You stop waiting for closure, and you create it. You stop needing apologies and you choose peace. And that is where the new life begins. Not when everything changes on the outside, but when you change your posture on the inside. The sixth key to starting a new life is choosing courage over comfort every single day. The truth is, comfort will never lead you to transformation. It will keep you where it's safe, predictable, and familiar, but it will also keep you small, stagnant, and stuck. Starting a new life means stepping into the unknown. It means walking away from what numbed you, what caged you, what silenced you. It means embracing risk, rejection, and even failure as part of your growth. The life you dream of will not be handed to you within the borders of your comfort zone. It will only unfold when you dare to cross those borders and take bold, consistent action despite your fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision that something else is more important. It is the willingness to act without all the answers, to begin without perfection, and to show up even when your knees are shaking. Most people wait until they feel ready, but that day never comes. Readiness is a myth created by fear to justify procrastination. You become ready by moving, by showing up, by failing forward. Waiting for perfect conditions is just another form of hiding. The road to a new life is built with imperfect steps, taken by imperfect people, fueled by imperfect faith, and that's more than enough. The people who transform their lives are not the most talented or the most privileged, they are the most committed. They do not let setbacks convince them to go back to what's familiar. They do not let the opinions of others mute their convictions. They do not let temporary emotions decide their permanent direction. They understand that courage is a daily decision, not a one-time event. It's choosing not to shrink when criticized, not to quit when tired, and not to settle when life challenges you to rise. It's choosing to believe in the possibility of your future more than the pain of your past. Courage is also choosing authenticity over approval. When you start a new life, not everyone will understand you. Some people will mock you, misunderstand you, or resent your growth. That's okay. Your transformation is not a community project, it's a personal decision. You weren't created to fit in, you were created to fulfill a purpose. And that means your path won't always be popular or easy. But it will be worth it. The more you honor your truth, the more aligned your life becomes. The more you risk vulnerability, the more love and clarity you attract. The more you step out in faith, the more miracles begin to unfold. Courage is the force that breaks cycles. It's the fire that burns bridges to who you used to be. It's the resolve to speak up, to walk away, to start over, to try again. It's what wakes you up at 5 a.m. to chase vision. It's what tells you that you're worthy, even when no one claps. It's what helps you rise after falling, and stand when others expect you to crumble. Every breakthrough you're waiting for is on the other side of a courageous decision you haven't made yet. And that decision will cost you your comfort, your excuses, your fears, but it will give you everything you were meant to become. When you start living with courage as your compass, you stop asking for permission to be great. You stop negotiating your calling with insecurity. You stop measuring your life by comparison, and start measuring it by conviction. That is when you know you're no longer just dreaming of a new life, you're living it, owning it, and becoming it with every bold step you take. As we come to the close of this journey together, remember this: starting a new life is not about erasing the past, but about embracing the power you hold right now to shape your future. Every setback, every challenge, every doubt is simply the soil from which your greatest growth can spring. The moment you decide to take ownership, to lead with purpose, to build with intention, is the moment your new life truly begins. Trust in your ability, lean into your vision, and move forward with unwavering courage. The path ahead may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Thank you for choosing to invest this time in yourself today. May you walk away inspired, empowered, and ready to take that bold first step toward the life you've always dreamed of. Your new beginning starts here. Keep believing, keep striving, and keep shining. God bless you.